That is your front page of the St. Louis Post-Dispatch. What a turnaround for the Blues. The first team in NHL history to win it all after having the worst record in the league after at least their 30th game of the season. But the city of St. Louis knows a thing or two about long shot victories. When it had a football team in 1999, the Rams were 300-1 to win it all after losing quarterback Trent Green to a season-ending injury. In steps Kurt Warner, who no one knew at the time, obviously went on to a Hall of Fame career, and they won it all that season, the greatest show on turf. 2011, the Cardinals were 999-1 to win it all because they were 5 games out of the playoffs with 15 games to go. They qualified for the postseason on the last day of the regular season before going on to win the World Series. And this year, the Blues, 250-1 to win it all after in early January, after having the worst record in the NHL. Just a remarkable turnaround. And, of course, one fan famously won $100,000 after placing $400 on those 250-1 odds. Sure enough, Scott joins me now. And, Scott, congratulations on behalf of Daily Wager and really all of America. So how are you feeling today after all that celebrating last night?
I'm feeling great. It's all smiles here today, and the city is still kind of buzzing. The fans are out in the streets, and the players are down the street from where I live at a restaurant there, kind of partying and cheering the fans on. It's been great.
And let's talk about last night. Where were you for Game 7, and what did it feel like, especially after that early barrage of shots by Boston?
Yeah. So I watched the game at a friend of mine owns a bar called Carnivore on the Hill here in St. Louis, and we had friends and family there, kind of only type deal. But the early barrage of shots, I think the whole Binnington played out of his mind, right? We all saw that, and I think the players responded off of that. So hats off to the Blues for playing a great game and not making me bite my nails too much throughout the entire Game 7.
You and I last spoke. You said that you were going to clear your mind. Maybe we're considering the possibility of hedging. You famously have not hedged. But what about last night? Just knowing you had it within your grasp in Game 6, you had to win Game 7 on the road to the Blues. Any thoughts creep into your mind about hedging then?
My prediction was off. I thought we were going to win in 6, but I think the Blues got a little ahead of themselves maybe, and, they decided to regroup like they do and respond like they always do and play their best game. But I did not hedge, and I didn't think about it much after Game 6. I was like, this is, I'm going to live or die with these guys. And I told myself to clear my head. No matter what happens, I'm still blessed with a good family and friends and a good job. So at the end of the day, it's $400 loss if they had gone down to the Bruins. And hats off to the Bruins. They played a terrific series. So I feel for those fans up there. We're used to that whole losing in the playoff thing, but not anymore, baby. We're back.
Here's your chance to gloat. What would you like to say to all those critics, maybe a guy who hosts a gambling show at ESPN, thought you should have definitely hedged at least a little bit, not the whole thing, but just something. Here's your chance to gloat. What would you like to say to all those critics?
Hey, I get it. I get where you're coming from, but I told someone on the way over here, I said, this is my I Told You So tour.
Sure.
I get it, but I just felt right. Everything around it just felt like these guys, I believe in them so much, so the faith in them kept me in this thing and not selling out, whatnot. Obviously, it took 7 games to figure out who was victorious. But, hey, I'm glad it's over with now, I'll tell you that much.
So what are you going to do with all this money? What's the plan to cash the ticket, and then what are you going to do with the money?
Oh, man, I'm going to get out to Vegas probably sometime next week. How I'm getting there, I don't know yet. But probably bring a brother with me, maybe my dad type thing. But I told my dad last night, he was watching the game with me, and when we went up 4-0 at one point, I said, Dad, the first thing I'm doing this is treat you to a nice Father's Day. So I know that's sappy, but my family is Iraq. They've been with me since day one, and they were always afraid to give me advice whether to hedge or not or whatnot. They just kind of like, oh, Scott, do what you want to do. They were afraid to tell me. But they were supportive in whatever I decided to do. So I got to treat them to something nice.
Sappy's okay. We will accept that. That's fair game here in this world. All right, Scott, congratulations, man. Really happy for you. Best of luck. And don't blow it all on the tables on the way out the door.
I guarantee you I won't.
All right, take care.
Thanks, guys.